All right, another how-to video for Eastmoor Pool. This time we're going to talk about backwashing the baby pool. I did put some new sand in the filter a week ago. So every time I backwash, a little bit of sand comes out, probably because one of the rods in the bottom of the tank is a little wonky and some of the sand is slipping through. So it normally happens just right after you backwash. So I'll talk a little bit after the video on how to suck up that sand probably the most efficient way. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is turn the power off at the switch. Next, you'll want to open up this drain cover. Now, if it's a cool day, it should pop right out. If it's a warm day, then it's probably swelled in there pretty tight and you'll want to use something to kind of lift it out, like one of these lane rope hooks or something. Typically, we would run a drain tube from this opening into the drain hole, but the thing is, it's cracked on one side and the tube is not really staying in there. In fact, when I plug the tube in, a lot of times the water goes back into Renilda's yard. So for, this week or so, just let the water flow right out of this tube. You might have to sweep it up sweep a puddle up when it's over, but that's not a huge deal. Next thing you probably want to do is unscrew the lid to the skimmer pot and pull out any debris. I just did that yesterday, so I don't think it's going to need done that soon, okay? So your next step after you replace that skimmer pot lid is to push down and turn clockwise to backwash, which I think it'll be pointing to the bottom, okay? Then we're gonna go back out and turn the pump motor on and probably let it backwash for like 30 seconds or so. And if you're doing this right, you're gonna see water come out of that tube. And most of it will go down the drain, but like I said, some of it we may have to sweep up when it's over. It's kind of brownish, so that's good. It needed a good backwashing. All right, after it runs for about 30 seconds, go ahead and turn the power off. And we're back in the pump house. You're going to push down and turn clockwise until the pointer is at rinse. So it should say rinse, and we're gonna go out and turn the power on for maybe another 15-20 seconds. Water's gonna flow out onto the deck again. A little bit of sand is coming out. We're gonna need to, sweep that back down the drain. And again at the power switch, turn it off. Back in the pump house, now move this valve handle to filter, which is where it was when you started. All right, back out and flip the power on. Now, without a flow meter or a pressure gauge, and there's some sand kicking out, I expected that. Without a flow meter and a pressure gauge, sometimes it's difficult to know exactly when to backwash. So usually what I've been doing this summer is just, you can see water moving when it's good and clean, and when the filters are dirty, the water tends to not, flow and move like it is right now. So not too much sand. You could probably sweep that, but let me show you how to vacuum the kiddie pool when there is a lot of sand or just a lot of dirt that you need to suck up in a hurry. So I've wheeled the vacuum pole from the big pool and the tube down here. We're going to prime it just the way we did with the down at the big pool. So go ahead and drop the vacuum head in straight down, and I usually push it out a little bit, and we are going to take this tube and push it straight down into the water, and that should allow it to fill up as it goes. All right, so I've pushed the tube down into the water vertically until it's filled with water. So yeah, there's water pouring out of there now. What we're gonna do is we're going to plug this into the skimmer hole, okay? So take the basket out. Probably a good time to empty it. and plug this tube into the hole in the bottom of the skimmer pot. It should suck it right in. And to increase the suction, what we're going to do is we're going to move this flower pot, and in the hole below there's an orange handle. Turn that handle, and it's going to cut off the suction to these drain holes, and it's going to put all the suction into the skimmer pot where you got your vacuum plugged in. So you should get good strong suction now. And just like the big pool, just nice and slow, move around, and see, this sucks it up pretty good. As long as that, there we go. You can see it's sucking up that sand pretty quick. So just work the vacuum head all the way around the pool, suck up all the sand, suck up any dirt. All right, so I've vacuumed the pool. It's pretty clean. Actually went over it a couple of times. Now I'm going to pull this out and let the vacuum tube fill with air, because it's a lot easier to work with when it's not filled with water. Try to yank the tube out of the hole before the air gets in there, okay? What happens is, if it sucks a bunch of air into the system, when it hits the pump in the baby pool, it's going to stir up that sand, and more sand may actually kick out into the pool, which kind of, defeats the purpose of setting this whole thing up and sucking up the sand in the first place. So let's go ahead and yank it out, and watch the tube fill with air, and try to catch it before the air hits the hole. All right, now while I've got this out here, I'm going to go ahead and dump this because it looks like there's a little bit of debris in here. Return the skimmer basket and the lid. And at this point, I'm going to take this vacuum tube and pull back down to the deep end. There we go. Again, keep it loose. Makes it easier for the next person, and I laid the vacuum pole back on the bleachers. Okay, after coming back, there's a few grains of sand that slipped past after I vacuumed, but it's way more manageable than what it was. So I could probably just sweep that down the drain. And generally, every day and a half or 2 days, the kiddie pool is going to need backwash. Again, that also depends on how much traffic you have. Don't forget, if you are adding chlorine, a lot of times when I'm adding tablets to the chlorinator, I can turn the flow off, unscrew the lid, and put tablets in, screw the lid back down nice and tight, and then turn the flow back on. But if you can't get the lid off while the pump is running, then go ahead and turn it off at the switch outside, unscrew the lid, put some tablets in, screw it back on, and then flip the motor back on. All right, baby pool tutorial. Hope that helps.